Hello everyone, welcome back and thank you guys so much for stopping by to check out this week's episode of ChiliDawg's Corner Indie Game Reviews. As we mentioned in last week's episode, we're going to be reviewing Alba, a wildlife adventure. Alba can be found across all platforms. However, it is not free to play with an Xbox Game Pass subscription, unfortunately. I think it costs roughly $19.99 or so to download the game. Alba was developed by Us2 Game Studios and is incredibly unique in that it's an adventure game that is hyper-focused on ecological, environmental, and wildlife conservation. I absolutely recommend this game for young children for the simple fact that the gameplay, like the game controls, are very simple. It has a very diverse cast of characters. It even incorporates like introductory Spanish and like elementary Spanish words. And it does have that critical message that we mentioned previously of wildlife conservation. We're going to go ahead and roll right into the story aspect of this game because, like I said, I want to make these reviews short, sweet, and to the point. So, starting out, you play as Alba. She's a young girl visiting her grandparents on a Mediterranean island. And within the first 10 minutes of freeing a dolphin of a fishing net, you really get a good grip of what the game is all about. You and your old-time pal Inez work to clean up the island of trash, save animals that have been poisoned by toxic goo, animals that are stuck in plastic, and even animals that have been drenched in oil. Looking at you, British Petroleum. 2010. Gulf of Mexico. Never forget. But I digress. Alba has a central focus of saving and restoring a dilapidated nature reserve that is soon to be replaced by a large hotel for tourists. It incorporates meaningful values as you help your community and collect signatures for your petition to help stop the mayor and his accomplice, Paco, from building this hotel. There is an element of mystery added once you learn that in spite of your efforts, the mayor wants to push on with building this hotel. Alba touches on the dangers of implementing a tourist economy and its impact on the lives of the local population and wildlife. So, it's a very short game. I think it plays through, so you start on like Saturday, like it's a 7-day game, right? So like you show up to the island, all this stuff happens, you find out about the hotel, and then you play through the week and you turn your petition in on Friday. So very short, very sweet game, very easy to play. Because it has such a strong message and the story is very meaningful, I'm going to go ahead and give the story aspect of this game a 10 out of 10. Moving right along to gameplay. As I mentioned before, the gameplay is extremely simple and it has very simple controls. You're mostly just using your Joy-Cons, your D-pad to open up your camera or your map or your quest log, A to select, left and right triggers every now and then, left and right bumper. The map is very easily navigated and it has a very accessible quest log. It does have a feature in it that is very reminiscent of Pokemon Snap in that you photograph different animals that are identified by not only their common name that you would use in day-to-day life, but it also has their scientific name in there as well. So gameplay is relaxing as well as inspiring. And it gives an overall, like, feel good, like, good feeling, you know? So, I mean, and the simpleness really just kind of ties into the story. It just meshes together so well. I'm just going to give gameplay a 10 out of 10. Alright, so art and music. Art and music. So, the music is very upbeat, and it has a very, like, circa 2009 indie vibe, you know, like very like Edward Sharpe and the Magnetic Zeros-esque feel to it. The art style is simple, it's colorful, it's somewhat blocky, it's reminiscent of childhood, you know, like it's very nostalgic, you know, lots of yellows, reds, light blues, tans, like very, very childhood-esque, very nostalgic. I really don't have any complaints. It's the simplicity of the music and the art, the simplicity of the gameplay, the simplicity of the story, but you know, still meaningful. I mean, it all just ties in together so well. Art and music, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. Rolling into my personal opinion, I want to say that I have never really experienced a game that has such uniqueness built in, you know, in a way that was very applicable to the real world. It really leaves the player inspired to go out and like search and kind of helps them ways in which they can make an impact. It very loosely walks them through the steps. You know, you see something you want to change, well, here's how you do it. You call upon your community, you get a petition together, you know, and it really just does a great job of showing all that. I recommend it for young children and really anybody, you know, but I think this is a game that is very like could make a very big difference in a young child's life. So I really personally I loved Alba 100%. The developers even left a list of like conservation charities at the end of the credits. And if you're interested, I'm going to leave a couple of those charities in the dialogue box, and they will be this week's charity or this episode's charities. So all we have left now is our final review, and everybody knows what this is going to be. You had a 10 out of 10 for story, you had a 10 out of 10 for gameplay, 10 out of 10 for art and music. Alba, a Wildlife Venture is our first 10 out of 10. So with that being said, I'm absolutely grateful for you guys stopping back by. I hope you guys enjoy your time playing Alba. I hope you do play Alba. And stay tuned, because next week we're going to do our review on Call of the Sea. Should be very exciting. We'll see you guys then.